Hey everyone, hope all is well. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the duality of ISB MBA interviews. So I keep on talking to a lot of mentees who keep on getting interview invites from the ISB PGP applications, and this is the season of interviews. Uh, why did I name this video duality? Because I keep hearing two dichotomous opinions about how people's interviews are going, right? So one set of people keep telling me that, Sarthak, I had a very friendly conversation, 30 minutes long, with a couple of alums. It didn't feel like an interview, it felt like a conversation amongst friends. And then I have another set of mentees who tell me that, yeah, Sarthak, I was grilled a lot, I was stopped in between, they were laughing in front of me, they were trying to rattle me, and should I even expect an admit or not, right? So, if you're in either of these buckets, this video is for you. So, what I wanted to convey in this video is that पहले थोड़ा construct समझ लेते हैं. So when you get an ISB interview call, you're randomly allocated into panels. So on that interview day, let's say you're interviewing in Delhi or Mumbai or Hyderabad, you will be allotted to a panel. कि मान लो 5 panels हैं of 2 alums each, तो total 10 alums उस दिन interview लेने आए हैं. And आपका interview let's say can be at 2 p.m. IST on a Sunday with panel 4. और मेरा interview can be on 3 p.m. IST on Sunday with panel 1. Right? तो हो सकता है मेरा panel is very different in terms of how they look at your profile and the kind of questions that they ask you as compared to your panel. Does that mean कि it depends on luck on whether you will get through or not? नहीं, क्योंकि आप ये सोच के देखो, जो panel 1 है, which is consisting of 2 panelists, वो जो 2 लोग हैं, वो चाहे उनको दिन में 10 लोगों का इंटरव्यू लेना हो, वो with all 10 people they'll behave in the same way, right? So if they have made up their mind कि यार मैं तो आज मेरे को जो भी applicant मिलेगा, I'll try to stress test them, I'll try to rattle them and ask them कि क्यों आना है ISB, why do you want to spend 40 lakhs and come to do an MBA? So these sort of questions, and they'll ask these questions to everybody who will face panel 1, right? So ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि आपको लग रहा है यार कि मेरा तो स्ट्रेस टेस्ट हो गया बट मैं बाकी लोगों से बात कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ तो उनका तो बहुत फ्रेंडली कॉन्वर्जेशन था. सो एंड I'll give you some insight into this. The panel, let's say panel 1, let's say they interview 10 people, 10 candidates in that day. They'll try to shortlist or give their marks for everybody, and उसमें से then आपका score allocate होके जाता है. तो आपका interview score is a function of the clarity that you have on your goals, the ability and the authenticity with which you were able to answer your work-ex related questions. So they score you, they mark you and everything, and then you're given an interview score which is clubbed with your application score, which is a function of essays, work experience count, work experience quality, and then both the scores are clubbed, application score as well as interview score. And if you're in the, let's say, top X percentile of the candidates, then you're given an admit, right? आप ये सोच के देखो कि it doesn't matter आपका इंटरव्यू में आपको ग्रिल किया गया या फिर it was a conversation, जो वो पैनल है which consists of 2 panelists, वो सारे के सारे जो 10 लोग हैं जिनके साथ इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं उस दिन, उनके साथ सेम तरीके से बिहेव करेंगे. They have not cherry picked you to laugh in front of you or to grill you. They'll do that same behavior with everybody in that panel, right? So, and over the years this duality has increased. When I used to mentor people for ISB back in 2021, तो almost everybody used to have this opinion कि यार हमें तो पता ही नहीं लगा इंटरव्यू कैसा गया. They had a poker face in between, and it was a conversation, and I think it went well. And then I get to know from people on the result day in 2021 कि यार मेरा तो नहीं हुआ, and somebody who had a bad interview उनका हो गया. तो पहली चीज़ तो ये है कि आप जज ही नहीं कर सकते कि आपका इंटरव्यू कैसा गया फिर उन्होंने कैसे इंटरप्रेट किया. The only thing that you can optimize for is the authenticity, honesty, and extreme clarity that you exhibit in your answers, be it for YISB, be it talk about your work with Deloitte, be it what will you do if you don't get through ISB this year? Be it how would your enemies describe you? Be it, okay, you're a consulting aspirant, let's solve a guesstimate, which is estimate the number of taxis on the roads of Delhi right now, right? So you can't really interpret on how your interview went. Over the years, 2023 last year and 2024, the duality has increased, which means that many people have very divergent views of the interview. A lot of people say, yaar, कि मेरा interview तो बहुत अच्छा गया, 25 minutes long, very similar to what we had prepared for, sitter questions. A lot of people say that, my interview was very different than what I had expected it to be. So for both sets of people, for both buckets, I'll request कि please don't make assumptions about how your interview went. Please wait for the result day. And दूसरी चीज, if you had a grilling interview, don't assume that you're rejected. Don't self-reject yourself. क्योंकि आपका अगर पैनल X ने आपको ग्रिल किया तो उनको 9 लोग जो और मिलेंगे in that interview day उनको भी ग्रिल करेंगे. And then they'll relatively decide किस में ज़्यादा authenticity थी, किस में ज़्यादा clarity थी in terms of their answers, right? So you have to be relatively better than the person who comes after or the person who came before you to give the interview, right? And also, I have had people. So just to give you some examples, I have had people, and these are recent conversations because interviews are going on. I have had people who have told me that Sarthak, they only asked me about my interest in scuba diving and swimming because I talked about it in the first essay, and it was a conversation just basis that interest, and that went really well. I've had people who tell me that Sarthak, I've been working with ISRO for the last 8 years, and the question that they asked me was, ISRO is Indian Space Research Organization, all of us know that. The question that they asked me was, what will you do to make Elon Musk hire you, right? So they were trying to rattle me in between, they were trying to gauge how I respond. Somebody told me that Sarthak, they asked me on what kind of questions have I prepared for even before the interview started. So आप ऐसा मत सोचो that you have been dealt a bad hand if you had a grilling interview or if you had an off-track interview. That's totally fine. If they are doing it with you, they will be doing it for the whole cohort of candidates who they are interviewing on that day, right? So please don't self-reject yourself. The only thing that matters is extreme clarity, authenticity and honesty in your answers. उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि सामने वाला जो एलम है वो आपको हंस के रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है या हॉस्टिलिटी से रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है. They may be just trying to stress test you. That's totally fine, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about in today's video, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you very soon.